Hi guys, I'm Alex from Gear for Music and we're in the Gear for Music studio today with Luke from KORG and he's here to tell us about the new KORG minilogue synth.
Okay, so this is our brand new synth. It's a 2-oscillator synth with noise oscillator as well. It's fully analog and it's polyphonic as well. It's 4-note polyphonic, so you can get some real variety in your sounds coming out of this thing, whether it be, you know, nice solid basses, leads, or even pads as well.
It's obviously got plenty of connections on the back. Do you want to talk us through what we've got?
Sure, yeah. We've got the main output, which we're using here. It's a mono output. You've got a headphone output. You've also got an audio in, which is really cool. So you can feed
it through the filters.
Yeah, exactly. You can feed any audio through, and it'll go through the whole signal chain. You've obviously got MIDI in and out, traditional MIDI in and out, and also USB. So as we said earlier, all of the knobs will transmit, and all the parameters will receive MIDI. But most interestingly, we've got sync in and out. So what this means is that we can connect to any of our kind of analog gear, like the Volkers or the MS-20 or the Odyssey, or of course any other manufacturer's gear out there. And there's loads of great analog stuff out there which we can sync to, which means that any patterns we're playing will obviously play in the same tempo that those other pieces of gear will.
Fantastic. So you can link it up to the SQ1 as well then and use that as an external sequencer.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And you can see it's got the oscilloscope in there. Can you tell me about that?
This is a really nice little OLED display which allows us to basically get some visual feedback about what we're doing musically. So, for instance, if I'm playing a square wave, we'll get a visual representation of that. We've also got wave shaping on here.
See it
so you can see it. Yeah, so if we're doing pulse width, we can change that, or if we're on a triangle wave, for example, it adds harmonics, so you get a more complex wave. Same thing on a saw wave.
So it's great for education then, because people who are starting off using synthesizers can easily see the different waveforms and they can see how that's represented on the screen.
Absolutely, it's brilliant for that application as well, yeah. What else is really cool about this is you've got all of these different voice modes. So they allow you to basically align these oscillators as you want and play them in different ways. So for instance, we've got poly mode, duo mode, unison, mono, chord, delay, arp and sidechain, all very different. And to change the mode, you just touch these buttons. Now what I've done is using the favourites function, I can hold down shift and recall sounds. So I've got examples of all of these for you. So I've got a polyphonic sound here, which is a nice pad. And then depending which mode you're in, this voice mode depth will do something different.
Right.
So for instance, in chord mode, it'll be the inversion. Whereas if I go into duo mode, for example, which allows me to just play 2 notes at once, it becomes detune. Or unison mode, detune again.
Fantastic. So the unison mode, that's just playing the 4 sounds stacked on top of each other.
Exactly. So that's the way to get the kind of thickest sound. Mono mode's quite interesting because what that does is it gives you access to a sub-oscillator as well via this control. So you can then dial in more or less of that sub-oscillator, and it tells you a nice little readout on the screen of how much you're doing that by. Chord is something different again, so what that allows you to do is just play a single note and it'll play a chord for you. Then the voice mode will give you different chords, which you can also change on the fly. Which
fantastic, which you can see in the screen as well.
It tells you,
it's really, really easy to see exactly what you're doing.
Exactly, it tells you the chord you're playing. Delay as well, what that does is it allows you to play the 4 notes in sequence and then alter with this how quickly that happens according to note value. So here we've got like a percussion sound, which is some toms, but then you can sync that to tempo or get something really quick going to get like a pseudo kind of chorus effect.
So how's the delay working? Is it a separate delay unit or is it using the different voices?
Yeah, that's using the voices. So it's not actually a traditional delay as such. All it's doing is delaying the 4 different voices.
Voices as they play.
As they play, yeah. Then you've got an arpeggiator, traditional arpeggiator as well. Which again, you can change the pattern here. So you could have something random. Or just your regular kind of up and down.
I mean, the thing that I've noticed so far listening to it is every sound that you've used in these different modes sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, they're really big sounds. They sound fat, they sound analog, and they sound great.
Yeah, they do. And you've got a lot of them as well. You've got 100 presets actually, and then you've got 100 blank spaces to save your own. Plus you can overwrite the presets. So there's lots of scope for making your own sounds.
So yeah, if you're a beginner, then you can start with the presets. You can start tweaking them into something that you like, and then start saving those and sort of building up that knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool.
Final mode is the sidechain, which is quite interesting. So what that does is it allows you to, it becomes monophonic effectively. But using this, you can use a compressor to let none of the signal through, or allow a little bit of the original, or a little bit of overlap. So just like a traditional sidechain.
Ducking it down underneath that tone.
Exactly, yeah.
So are these all sending out MIDI to, say, a sequencer, so we can map them all?
Absolutely, yeah. They all spit out MIDI via MIDI out and USB. So obviously 2 benefits there. If you want to record automation into your DAW, brilliant. But also then you could map these to any other soft synth as well and use it as a neat controller, which is quite nice. We've got a delay unit built in.
Cool.
So here we've got like a nice little clav sound, and I can then alter how much delay there is. But what's nice is it gives you access to the routing of it as well. So if I go to bypass, obviously that turns it off.
Yeah.
But if you go pre-filter, you have this nice little high-pass cutoff. So what that does is it allows you to change the amount of high-pass filter on the delay, or you can route it post-filter and filter the whole sound.
Cool,
so
that's
it
really
effectively gives you another filter as well as your regular low-pass filter as well. You've also got a sequencer built in, which is really cool. So every single sound you come to will have a sequence already programmed, of which you can then overwrite. So if I press play, it'll play back a sequence, which obviously you can change the parameters as it's playing. But if I want to overdub that, just hit record.
And these are all 16-step sequences,
They are, yeah, and you can choose actually up to 16, so it could be 8, 16 or anywhere in between.
Cool. So you can also record in automation with this as well, so we could have filter automation or
Absolutely.
LFO, things like
and
that.
you don't have to do anything sort of fancy or difficult to do that. All you do is, again, press play, record to arm it, and then I can motion record it in.
Wow. That's
And it
so
records
easy.
it. Yeah, it's so easy, yeah.
So let's say I've recorded in a load of automation and I'm not quite happy with it. How can I take that off?
You can, there's a couple of ways, but you can go into edit mode and go into sequence edit, and then one of these pages is motion clear, and then you just do it there.
Oh, fantastic.
And you've got independent control over up to 4 lanes of it as well, so it's really good. I also wanted to show you this pitch lever. So this is a new kind of pitch bend action for us. It's been ergonomically designed, so it's slightly on an angle, so it's easy to use. But it's also, we really wanted to stress this, it's not just pitch bend, it can be assigned to anything. So, for instance, here we've got a dubby sort of sound.
Nice.
So we can bring in LFO rates, and it can be assigned to pretty much anything on the instrument. So.
And the build quality of this looks fantastic. It's got a metal, is it aluminium?
Yeah, it's aluminium chassis.
Feels nice.
All the controls are really sturdy as well. All the knobs, they've got metal shafts underneath.
And people are watching are going to see more than this, but the wooden back, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's really neat. Yeah,
it's really high
They've really
quality.
gone to town on the styling, definitely, and it feels great to use.
It does. It feels really good to use. Thank you for watching the new video for the KORG minilogue. I'm Alex, and this is Luke from KORG. For more information, all you need to do is go to gearformusic.com, and this will be available from the end of January. Thank you.